What's up, everybody? My name's RaisorBlade, and if you're just like me, then you have got to be a huge fan of Star Wars. If you were born in the 90s like I was, it's likely that you were introduced to Star Wars through the prequels. And yeah, looking back on them now, they're not really the best in movies, are they? But to be fair, they did lead us to the original trilogy, which was actually really good. The original trilogy is considered three of the greatest movies of all time, with memorable characters, groundbreaking visuals for its time, and a timeless story that all ages of any time can truly enjoy. Then the prequels just came in and just shat all over all of it, with wooden acting, weak characters, an overabundance of CGI, and a story that made little to no sense whatsoever. So, when Disney bought Star Wars back in 2012, people started asking themselves, gee, can Disney kill Star Wars any more than Lucas already has? Well, to many fans, yeah, they can. And there is no clear case people point to more than Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Ever since The Force Awakens came out in 2015, fans have been crying out that Star Wars will never be the same. While admittedly, I really enjoyed The Force Awakens, and I thought that Rogue One was just okay, still, I understand why people don't like these movies. They're not perfect movies, but to be fair, which Star Wars movie is? Even Empire had problems. There's no such thing as a perfect film. But in the last 6 months, people have declared that The Last Jedi should really be called The Last Straw, as not only is Star Wars dead, but it will never recover. Some people point the finger to Kathleen Kennedy and her insulting statements about the fandom, while other people point the finger to Rian Johnson for not working with J.J. Abrams to make a proper sequel. There's also pointless feminism, Rey being a Mary Sue, forced diversity. Apparently, everyone has some sort of problem with The Last Jedi, and while I will admit it is flawed beyond belief, the question does come to mind. Is it really the worst Star Wars movie ever? Or are Star Wars fans just being Star Wars fans and just bitching about shit that honestly doesn't really matter? Either way, someone in the comments is going to call me an asshole depending on my opinion for this movie, so why don't we just get started, everybody? So, this is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So the movie begins where the last one left off, with the Resistance leaving their base and the First Order trying to destroy them. It's honestly a great opening space battle with great visuals and some sick sequences. It's a pretty strong opening, even if they do forget how gravity works. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that, but oh, look at the big explosion! Michael Bay, yeah! Boobies, why not? It's awesome? So after Finn wakes up, and we get some hilarious awkwardness with Poe, we cut back to Rey, who has just given Luke his lightsaber back. Huh? Yeah, Luke doesn't want his lightsaber back. That's kind of odd.
Chewie, what are you doing here?
He said you're coming back with us.
How did you find me?
Long story, we'll tell you on the Falcon.
Yeah, I could just bring up the fact that I found the map that you specifically made, but why not try to bring up that important detail, which was a basic plot point in the first movie? So yeah, it turns out that Luke has no intention of leaving the island and just plans to die there.
You think that I came to the most unfindable place in the galaxy for no reason at all? Go away.
You made a map, though! I mean, Jesus. I mean, okay, maybe I can accept the fact that Luke, somewhere in between him making the map and now, changed his mind about wanting to be found, and I can accept that, except the movie never gives us a proper explanation as to why he doesn't want to be found. I mean, okay, it gives us an explanation, but it doesn't explain why he made a map. Because, one, it doesn't stay consistent to Luke's character, even Mark Hamill himself stated that, and two, it still doesn't explain why on earth Luke would make a map to find him if the whole intention was for him to never be found. It's just a big plot hole and inconsistency between these two movies that just shoots this movie in the foot. So Rey decides she's going to stick around until Luke changes his mind, and we then get to see what Luke does in his spare time. Yeah, there's nothing more amazing and charming than watching one of my favorite characters of all time drink out of some weird alien creature's boo penis. Yeah, charming's the word. Eventually, Rey discovers some books which are actually texts from the Jedi Order.
The original Jedi texts. Just like me, they're the last of the Jedi religion.
Yeah, where you weren't allowed to marry anybody, you weren't allowed to love anybody, you weren't allowed to hate anybody, you really weren't allowed to have any real emotional connection to anybody whatsoever, you couldn't love your mom, and yet for some reason we were considered the good guys.
Where are you from?
Nowhere.
No one's from nowhere.
Jakku.
Alright, that is pretty much nowhere.
Really? You had to turn that into some really forced one-liner? Look, I'm fine with Star Wars having a joke here and there. The Force Awakens was actually really funny, but come on guys, you gotta try a little bit harder than that.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
Why?
Since my brother's being a little bitch, he's not the same character as he was before. And I don't mean that as a joke, I mean he literally is not the same character he was before. So, back at the Resistance, Poe is demoted for disobeying orders.
There are things that you cannot solve by jumping in an X-Wing and blowing something up.
But the First Order is on their tail as they are apparently able to track through light speed now.
Permission to jump in an X-Wing and blow something up?
Permission granted.
Even though I just told you that there are just some things you can't solve by jumping in an X-Wing and blow things up, I will continue to allow you to jump into an X-Wing and blow things up. Gee, pretty convenient that Poe didn't get hurt at all after being caught in that giant fucking explosion. The plot armor is strong with this one. So Kylo Ren jumps into his ship and is ready to kill Leia, but can't bring himself to do so. So the other TIE fighters do it for him. Smack! Leia just like smacks the windshield as Kylo's flying by. That would not be the funniest thing ever. I mean, I know that'd be awful given Carrie Fisher's death, but still, just smack! Turn on the windshield wipers, and it will come off! But trust me, as stupid as that would have been, it isn't nearly as stupid as what actually happens. Guys, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here, guys. That was the single most retarded thing I have ever seen in a Star Wars movie. I'm dead fucking serious. That's more retarded than making Jar Jar Binks the general of a fucking army at the end of Phantom Menace. That's more retarded than the fucking animated Clone Wars movie that came out in 2008, which was fucking awful. Though to be fair, it led to a really good TV show. Look, I'm just saying, this is Leia. Princess Leia. General Leia. Whatever you want to call her. Bottom line, when the fuck was she ever able to do this? Some people might point out the Jedi known as Master Plo Koon, who was seen in the animated Star Wars Clone Wars series, fighting battle droids in space. But here's the thing though, he's an alien, and even if the Force was a factor, he was a master of it. We've never seen Leia do anything like this with the Force before, at least physically. And it's not like I don't want to see Leia use the Force, I do, and I'm pretty sure a lot of fans really wanted to see this. Like, okay, imagine there's a scene in the movie where Rey or Finn or Poe are having like a temper tantrum, and they throw something to the ground, I'm like, fuck it! And Leia decides to give him a pep talk, and they're like, you're right, you're right. And then Leia says, alright, with that being said, whoop, get it done. That would have been so fucking amazing. That would have been so badass in its own right, because we'd never seen Leia do anything before. It would have been within the realm of plausibility. It would have been awesome in its own right. But instead, we have her floating through space like she's goddamn Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
I mean, I never thought I was going to have to do this to a Star Wars character. But here we are!
At the moment that I hit the stage, I hear the universe calling my name. And I know deep down in my heart I have nothing to fear. And as the solar wind blows through my hair, knowing I have so much more left to share, a wandering spirit who's tearing its way through the cold atmosphere. I fly like a comet, soar like a comet, crash like a comet. I'm just a comet.
So thank you, Star Wars The Last Jedi. Thank you for ruining who was essentially one of the best characters in the entire series. And with Carrie Fisher being dead, we can never fix this tragedy. Thanks, Star Wars. Thanks, Rian Johnson. Thanks, Obama. So after that, we cut back to the island to see... Yes, Chewie. Yeah, I see you. You're in a Star Wars movie. How about that? Yeah, I mean, I saw you before, but I mean, you know, like, here you're actually doing something. Yeah, that's true. It is kind of pointless, isn't it? So while Chewie is busy devouring helpless little creatures, Luke sneaks onto the Millennium Falcon and meets up with R2 again. And, not gonna lie, it's a genuinely very nice scene. So, Luke is convinced to finally teach Rey how to use the Force.
I will teach you the ways of the Jedi. And why they need to end.
And don't worry, we won't bring up that map whatsoever. That was a big deal in the first movie.
General Organa, Leia, is unconscious but recovering. Admiral Akbar, all our leadership, they're gone.
Oh, that's fucking nice. I mean, seriously? That's how you kill off Admiral Akbar? I mean, look, I get he's not a main character or anything like that, but he was still a fan favorite. Everybody loved him. It's a trap seen as one of the most famous memes of all time. Look, call this nitpicking if you want, but I still think that Admiral Akbar should have got at least a goodbye or something like that. Something kind of nice and meaningful. Not just Admiral Akbar is dead. That's it. So, with Leia out of the picture, and still alive, Admiral Holdo is placed in charge. Oh boy, how kind the internet has been to this woman. So from what people have said about her, she is supposed to be this strong, feminist character that takes command and doesn't need the male Poe's help whatsoever, because she's a strong, powerful woman who doesn't need any man to save her. Now, is the internet correct about this woman? Yeah, they kind of are. She was written solely for the intention of being a strong female character who has to shame Poe for his mistakes and never tells anyone about her plan, which is something that any competent admiral would do to her soldiers given the situation. But no! She's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. She's got this all taken care of herself. Yeah, if the genders were swapped, I swear, people would be boycotting the fuck out of this movie. Well, I mean, more than they already are, but you get what I'm talking about. So meanwhile, Finn is getting ready to abandon ship, but he then meets Rose, a maintenance worker. And I'll talk about Rose later, but just to get this out of the way now, I don't hate Rose as much as everybody else, and I certainly don't feel the need to bully her actress to the point where she has to delete her Twitter account. You know who you are, you fucking assholes. I may be an asshole, but if there's one thing I'm not, it's a fucking bully. Jake Lloyd didn't deserve it, Hayden Christensen didn't deserve it, and this woman certainly doesn't deserve it either. I'm sure she's a perfectly nice woman in real life, she's just an actress doing her job. That's all.
Sorry, but this fleet is doomed, and if my friend comes back to it, she's doomed too. I gotta get this beacon far away from here, then she'll find me and be safe.
You're a selfish traitor.
Do not forget that line. Remember that line as if your life depends on it. So after learning that they can be tracked through lightspeed, Finn and Rose figure out a way to disable the tracker. Finn, Rose, and Poe contact Maz Kanata and find out they need to find a master codebreaker in order to disable the tracker. I'm sure this side quest here won't totally be filler and add a whole 30 minutes to a movie that's already over 2 hours long, so yeah, I'm sure it'll all work out just fine. Meanwhile, back on the island, Rey has a sudden connection with Kylo Ren.
Can you see my surroundings?
You're gonna pay for what you did.
I can't see yours. Luke?
What's that about?
Oh, you son of
Whew, thank goodness. If she had found me about 5 minutes ago, she would have seen me. You know what, let's not worry about what I was doing 5 minutes ago. So, after dealing with some Lord of the Rings rejects, it's finally time for Luke and Rey to begin training.
It's the energy between all things, a tension, a balance that binds the universe together.
Really? I heard it was something in your blood. What dumbass told you that?
Close your eyes. Now, reach out.
I feel something.
You feel it?
Yes, I feel it.
That's the Force.
Really?
Wow, it must be really strong
Oh,
with
I've
you.
never felt any... Ow!
Alright, movie, you get a point. That was a really funny scene. So while Rey is training with Luke, Finn and Rose find a casino where the codebreaker should be, and I'm surprised to say that for a Star Wars movie, this place feels really un-Star Wars, if that makes any sense. Like, seriously, just look at this place. All they really did was just put some aliens in Las Vegas. Like, yeah, that's Star Wars, right? I know that Star Wars is a large galaxy and all, and it's great to see new places in these movies, but just look back on the cantina from A New Hope. It was unique, looked nothing like anything we had ever seen before. We felt like we were in a galaxy far away. But now we're back in that diner from Attack of the Clones. You know the one that just takes you right out of the movie. Well, we're back there. But hey, at least with this casino, we get some social commentary, right? Because if there's one thing Star Wars needed, it was more social commentary and political awareness. Yeah, they bring up stuff like rich people have all the power, animals are slaves, and the working class barely gets anything. We learn all of this from Rose, who coincidentally grew up on this planet. Now look, I'm fine with learning about Rose and her backstory and everything like that, but the question has to come to mind, what does this do to the story? A character's development needs to be important to the story. You can't stop telling your story just to develop a character. All that does is ruin the pacing and takes away the focus from things that deserve it more. I don't care what social commentary you're trying to tell me. If the character's development doesn't add anything to the story overall, then it's pointless and it doesn't need to be in the movie. Period. So Finn and Rose finally find the codebreaker, but because of the shitty parking job they did, they get arrested for it. Yeah. Apparently there's no such thing as parking tickets in the galaxy of Star Wars. Meanwhile, back on the island, man, this movie likes to cut back and forth, doesn't it? Rey begins to get the hang of using the lightsaber. Okay, movie, again, you want a joke here and there, that's fine. But one, make sure it's funny, and two, stop trying to be Marvel. You're not Marvel, you're Star Wars, so stop it!
The rest of our crew has been evacuated and heading your way. It's been an honor, Admiral. Godspeed, rebels!
Oh wow, that sucks. You know, now might be a really good time to tell people about my actual plan, or I could continue to be a strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man to save her. That works too. So back at the casino, Finn and Rose are locked up with someone named DJ.
What a stupid name.
Who just so happens to also be a master codebreaker as well. What are the odds? I don't know what's stupider, his fucking stutter, or the fact that they also found a master codebreaker in the one place they shouldn't have found a master codebreaker. God, the convenience is strong with these two. So thanks to DJ,
What a stupid name.
they're able to break out and use the animals to destroy the casino. Because, yeah! Fuck rich people! And also, whatever the hell this thing is, what? And to think this whole entire chase is happening all because parking tickets do not exist in the universe of Star Wars. Kind of makes this whole entire thing feel kind of forced and stupid, don't you think? But, whatever. Free the animals! Fuck rich people! And whatever the fuck this fat fucking thing is, yeah! So Rey and Kylo have another mind link, and hello, thick boy!
Why did you hate your father? Do you have something, a cowl or something you can put on?
Am I the only one in the galaxy that thinks that these two are never gonna get together? I mean, like, just this forced sexual tension is, like, so fucking awkward.
Why did you kill him? I don't understand.
No. Your parents threw you away like garbage.
They didn't.
They did. But you can't stop needing them. It's your greatest weakness. Looking for them everywhere. In Han Solo. Now in Skywalker.
I've heard from many people that they see Rey as a Mary Sue, mainly because she could fly the Millennium Falcon without ever flying a ship before, or using a lightsaber and knowing how to use that without ever touching one. But personally, I don't think so, because one, Luke was able to fly an X-Wing without ever flying one before, and he destroyed the Death Star. Also, Anakin as a kid was able to pod race, something that needed Jedi reflexes. And two, this scene basically confirms that unlike Mary Sue's, Rey does have some form of weakness. Rey has serious parental issues and will basically cling to any parental figure she meets, which is a real-life problem. She's too overly trusting of people who don't try to kill her right away. Sure, we know that Han and Luke are good people, but Rey doesn't. Also, Mark Hamill himself admitted that this is not the Luke Skywalker we know. So I don't really see Rey as a Mary Sue, so much as just another Jedi with incredible abilities. Like the kid that destroyed a starship, or his son who destroyed the Death Star. So Rey journeys to the dark side of the island, and there she finds the Mirror of Erised. You know, the mirror from the first Harry Potter movie? The one where Harry saw his parents in it? You uncultured swine.
Didn't go on forever. I knew it was leading somewhere. That at the end it would show me what I came to see. My parents. Please, please.
Look, say what you want about this movie, but Rian Johnson's a damn good director in my opinion. The cinematography, the performances given, all these brilliant shots and visuals, there's just a ton of great stuff here. This movie is just flat out gorgeous to see, regardless of the writing or script. You can tell a lot of heart and passion was put into this. So, yeah, regardless of how you feel about this movie, Rian Johnson did a damn good job putting it together, okay? There's more people to blame than just Rian for this movie. There's also screenwriters, there's also producers, tons of other people to blame as to why this movie apparently sucks or whatever. But I don't think Rian's to blame. If this movie is as bad as everybody says it is, even if it was, Rian would not be solely to blame. So I'm not going to shit on him because, honestly, he made a damn good-looking movie, in my opinion. So Luke sees Rey talking to Kylo Ren, and the two eventually get into a big fight over it.
I saw darkness. I'd sensed it building in him. I'd seen it in moments during his training. Snoke had already turned his heart. For the briefest moment of pure instinct, I thought I could stop it.
Now, I heard a lot of people really don't like this moment because it doesn't make a lot of sense why Luke did what he did. Because Luke was able to turn Darth fucking Vader of all people to the light side, but he gave up on his nephew? Well, I think fans are just kind of overreading this moment. Luke himself admits that this was just a brief, fleeting moment that he regretted immediately and ever since.
It passed like a fleeting shadow, and I was left with shame.
Plus, this isn't the first time Luke's touched upon the dark side. Remember his training on Dagobah? Or how about on the second Death Star? Luke's done this before, and if he didn't die in this movie, I think it might not have been the last time, to be honest, okay? The darkness isn't something that just kind of goes away, okay? It's something that sticks with you forever, no matter how pure you think you are. So yeah, even though this feels a little out of character for Luke himself as a whole, as the movie goes, I think this feels okay. So Luke tries to destroy what is left of the Jedi text, but Yoda, who comes back looking a little less CGI than the last time I saw him, destroys it for him.
Yes, yes, yes. Wisdom they held, but that library contained nothing that the girl Rey does not already possess. Still looking to the horizon. Never here. Now. The need in front of your nose. Lost Ben Solo, you did. Lose Rey, we must not. The greatest teacher failure is. We are what they grow beyond. That is the true burden of all masters.
Yeah, I'm sure the Star Wars fan base will really take that to heart. Right to the point where they have to bully the actress who plays Rose, tweet Rian Johnson constant death threats, and actually try to raise a budget to make another Star Wars Last Jedi movie. They actually did that. $15 million going to nothing. Again, I'm sure the fans will take this to heart. Meanwhile, back at the fleet, Poe finally confronts Marianne. Jailbreak. Holdo. Just out of the fucking list.
Tell us that we have a plan. That there's hope.
When I served under Leia,
Who should be dead?
she would say, hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see it.
You'll never make it through the night.
Yes.
Why don't you just tell him your fucking plan? Jesus. The only reason you're not telling him your plan is just to make him look like an asshole. There is literally no other reason. Alright, even if she told other people the plan, Poe has friends aside from Finn in this movie. Like, we see them when he commits the mutiny later, so it's like, really, like, even if she told other people, why aren't they telling him the plan? Unless she didn't tell them anything. So, it makes literally no sense why she would not tell him the plan at all, no matter what he did in the past. The only good this does is to cause a mutiny later.
Vice Admiral Holdo, I am relieving you of your command for the survival of this ship, its crew, and the Resistance.
Good job, lady! Way to show that man who's boss! Meanwhile, Rey goes to try and save Kylo Ren from himself, and big fucking shock, she gets captured and taken to Snoke. Oh boy. I've seen enough porn to know where this is going. Meanwhile, man, this movie can't focus on anything, can it? Finn and Rose are captured, and Poe's mutiny is stopped.
That one's a troublemaker. I like him.
Me too.
Aw, your son killed your husband like literally 3 days ago and you're already checking out other guys. That's really nice.
For the transports to escape, someone needs to stay behind and pilot the cruiser. May the Force be with you, always.
God, why wasn't it Leia who died here? Seriously, wouldn't that have been such an amazing way for Leia to die, doing this lightspeed kamikaze, saving the entire Resistance? In fact, why wasn't it Rose who died doing the lightspeed kamikaze? Think about it. Say, fuck the whole casino subplot, have her and Finn stay on the ship, help Poe with his mutiny, and then Rose stay behind, and her sacrifice mirror that of her sisters in the beginning. That would have been so fucking awesome, and plus it wouldn't have led to that stupid contradiction, which we'll get to later on. I'm just saying, this is empty. I don't care about Holdo's sacrifice here. Throughout this entire movie, she's done nothing but act like a fucking stuck-up bitch who's not sharing her plan for no good reason, and all of a sudden the movie wants to give her this heroic, super awesome moment? Fuck you, movie! The emotion you want me to feel isn't here. It's empty. This entire moment is pure fucking empty. And it actually takes away some of the badassery that is the lightspeed kamikaze. Heroic moments are heroic not just because of how badass the moment can be, it's also because of the characters and our attachment to them. If we didn't care about All Might in My Hero Academia, then his battle with All for One wouldn't have made an impact.
Always toying with people, probing their weaknesses. You steal, break them, manipulate and discard them. It cannot continue.
It's over.
I won't let it!
See? You feel his struggle. You sense how desperate he is. You want him to win. And when he does win, it's all the more satisfying.
Goodbye. All for one. United States of Goodbye. One for all.
And equally heartbreaking when it's their final moments. Holdo's sacrifice is empty, pure, plain, and simple. There's no emotion behind it. I have no attachment to Holdo whatsoever. She's a dumb bitch. fuck Holdo, fuck the sacrifice, and fuck this movie. It sucks. Kind of.
Holdo knew the First Order was tracking our big ship. They're not monitoring for little transports. She was more interested in protecting the light than she was seeming like a hero.
Yeah, sure. And she never told Poe this because... Yeah, you said it, Chewie. Meanwhile, back on Snoke's ship, Snoke reveals that it was him who bridged the minds between Rey and Kylo Ren. Wait a minute. If you can bridge the minds between Rey and Kylo Ren, then why not just use that mind link to try and locate where Rey is, and thus find Luke at the same time? You know, shouldn't be that hard. In fact, you could do it like that. With that being said, though, let's talk about Snoke and just how fucking awesome he is. He has so many amazing powers. He can shock you just by taking a step forward. He can link people's minds together. What can't this guy do? Man, having a bad guy this powerful should honestly be illegal. Like, seriously, there's no way on earth the heroes can kill him. There's no way in hell. God damn it, he died like a bitch. Who the fuck was Snoke anyway? How did he get so strong with the Force? Who was he really? Where did he come from? How did he make the First Order? Why did he want Luke? Why did he want Ben? There are so many questions that were left unanswered, and we're either going to have to wait for the next movie to answer these questions, or Snoke's just going to get his own solo movie because Han Solo got his own movie, and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Boba Fett are getting their own. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? So after Snoke's death, we get a pretty spectacular fight where Rey and Kylo Ren fight off Snoke's guards. Again, it's visually stunning, the fight is well choreographed, and unlike Holdo's sacrifice, we genuinely care about this moment. You see? Didn't that feel way more satisfying? Meanwhile, Holdo does her lightspeed kamikaze, and despite what I said earlier, it's still pretty badass. But of course, Finn and Rose survive it. And finally, after all this time, Finn finally confronts his former commanding officer, Phasma, and the two have an epic duel to the death! For at least 1 minute, and then she's killed off too. But hey! She at least did something in this movie, right? She at least fought someone, right? That's more than we can say about Boba Fett, right? Right? So the Resistance lands on the planet below, but the First Order is close behind. Oh, wow. Where have I seen this before? I have no idea where. Man, these movies really love taking from these movies, don't they? Despite similarities with the Battle of Hoth, it's still a pretty fun battle, but all hope seems lost when a giant cannon is aimed at the base. Despite the odds, however, Finn decides he's going to try and sacrifice himself to save the Resistance. Holy fucking shit! Dude, movie, if you decide to go through with this, then you got some balls. I'm not kidding. I mean, think about that. Finn actually sacrifices himself, like dies? Dude, that'd be amazing. And it would actually give all that filler shit a point. Think about it. In the beginning of the movie, he was ready to abandon the Resistance and was, well, convinced by Rose to help her and Poe find the Master Breaker. While on the mission, he learned about the hardship of Rose and why she and her sister fought the First Order. Inspired by this, he would then decide to fight with them and even die trying to save them. Holy fucking shit! Everything had a point! Just to lead up to this amazing moment. Again, remember what I said earlier about characters being attached to them, and when they do badass moments, it just means so much more? Well, this would have been so fucking amazing. You have no idea. Holy fucking shit. Not only would this movie have balls, not only would this mean so much, it would be one of the biggest moments in Star Wars history. God damn it, Rose! Why would you do this? Why would you ruin what could have been one of the greatest moments in Star Wars history? It would have been ballsy, it would have been dramatic, it would have moved the plot along. It made perfect sense to have Finn sacrifice himself. And why did you ruin all that?
I saved you. Tell me. That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
Oh! You mean what Finn was just about to do? He was gonna save what he loved? And what was that thing you said earlier about being a coward?
But this fleet is doomed, and if my friend comes back to it, she's doomed too. We gotta get this beacon far away from here, then she'll find me and be safe.
You're a selfish traitor.
Yeah! Well, guess what, dumbass? You just saved Finn at the cost of the entire fucking Resistance! Hell, your sister died for the Resistance, why couldn't you? Why not just knock Finn out of the way and you take the blast? Why didn't you destroy the cannon? Wouldn't that made so much more sense? Instead of this contradictory, hypocritical bullshit? God! Like, I mean, fuck, man. God damn it, Rose. Fuck, I see why people hate you now. I'm still not gonna make fun of your actress, but man, fuck you, Rose. Fuck off. Jesus. But after having been blue-balled of the coolest moment ever, Luke appears to finally confront Kylo. And despite me wishing that Leia had still been killed off earlier in the movie, a part of me is glad that Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher had one final scene together.
I know my son's gone.
No one's ever really gone.
Really makes you miss her, doesn't it? Oh, leave me alone, will you? So Luke goes out to confront Kylo Ren, but... So, was that the cheesiest thing I'd ever seen, or the most awesome thing I'd ever seen?
The rebellion is reborn today. The war is just beginning. And I will not be the last Jedi. Strike me down in anger and I'll always be with you. See you around, kid.
Okay, guys, you can't deny that was pretty fucking cool. It actually doesn't feel that forced, you know, like what Leia did earlier. We have Ghost, we can sense people from entire galaxies away, so creating force projections from another planet actually doesn't feel that far out there either. It makes for a truly unique addition to the Force, and makes for one hell of a way for Luke to say goodbye. Oh, and speaking of him saying goodbye... I think this is great. Luke's final moments alive. Perfectly shot like the original scene from A New Hope with the two sunsets and Luke staring across the horizon wondering what will be next for him. Plus the fact that he fades away similar to that of Obi-Wan and Yoda. Guys, come on. This is so well done in my opinion. I mean, sure, it would have been cooler to watch Luke actually be there in real life fighting Kylo Ren and die in a blaze of glory or something like that. But sometimes it's just better to watch our heroes fade away rather than just burn out all of a sudden, don't you think? In my opinion, I think Rian Johnson handled Luke's death with a lot of tact and a lot of respect. And I'll give him credit where credit's due. Luke's death made me sad. I mean, I didn't cry like a little bitch because I'm not a bitch, but it was sad. I'll say that much. And I liked it. So Rey arrives and gets the last of the Resistance off the planet, and they all escape together.
Chewie.
Yes, Chewie, we see it. We see you hugging Leia right there. It's a nice scene, but no one cares, man. Okay, seriously, no one should care about who you hug, man. It's just a fucking hug. Like, who cares? You can't fucking hug me, man. No, you have lice. No, just stay over there, man, okay? The review's almost over, okay? Just stay over there. Fucking Wookiees. Chewie! No! Chewie, no! I said no hugs! Get off me, you fucking nerf hunter! Get off me! Get off me! Yeah, you like that? You like that? You like that, you fucking nerf hunter? Bitch, come on! God, get off! That's my jugular! That's my jugular! Oh my god, dude! Fuck! You know what you just did to me? Fucking ripped off a hangnail! Huh, you fucking bastard! Ugh, I got hair in my mouth too. Ugh. No Wookiee treats for a fucking week, man. Oh, fuck. Oh. I'm wrapping it up, guys. I'm wrapping it up. So we cut to some kids who live at that casino we saw earlier, and we then see that one of them is Force sensitive. Well, the title of the movie was wrong. Ugh. God, I still got some hair on my mouth. Ugh. Ah, fuck. Fuck you, Chewie! Oh, God. The Last Jedi, guys. It was something, that's for sure. Star Wars The Last Jedi has a lot of problems. There's no denying that. Probably because as a movie made to be a part of something bigger, it fails hard. It's inconsistent with The Force Awakens, character motivations often flip on a dime, there's a whole 30 minutes devoted to filler, and a lot of the emotion I felt with The Force Awakens isn't here. All because of poor decisions made on both Ryan and Kathleen Kennedy's part. But really, is Star Wars The Last Jedi the worst Star Wars movie ever made? Not even close. Star Wars The Last Jedi is still jaw-droppingly gorgeous, well-acted, still genuinely interesting when it's focused on the good stuff, and it still feels like a Star Wars movie. Do you guys remember the prequels? Remember how amazingly confusing the politics were in Phantom Menace? And not to mention Jar Jar Binks? How about how embarrassing the dialogue was in Attack of the Clones? What about the lack of a story in the animated Clone Wars movie? And come on, do I really need to bring up the holiday special? The one that even Lucas didn't like? I shouldn't have to. I don't know if I can call The Last Jedi a good movie, but in its own right, it's not the worst thing ever. I've seen the worst, and it's not this. The Last Jedi, for the most part, is a pretty solid film. If you hate it, I completely understand, but I'm not in the same boat as you. But when it comes to my obviously wrong opinion, I'm personally still excited to see what the next Star Wars movie brings to a galaxy far, far away. My name is RaisorBlade, and as always, God damn it, not again! Get off! Get off!
Goodbye. All for one. United States!